Listen, Jesus is the only one qualified to admonish his church. Does that mean that we should never say anything about her that's maybe in the realm of constructive criticism? No. It just means that when we admonish the church, we need to make sure that we are within the boundaries of what he has already said about her, and we use the same tone that he uses. And so we learn a great deal as he addresses these 7 churches that he loves in chapters 2 and 3, beginning with the church at Ephesus. Ephesus was the first church that Jesus addresses, partly because it would have been the first place that the mailman would have delivered the mail coming from the island of Patmos. The second reason is because Ephesus was the 4th largest city in the Roman Empire. And as a result of that, this church had a large platform of influence. Started by Paul in Acts 19, nurtured by Priscilla and Aquila, pastored by Timothy, as well as John, where he wrote the Gospel of John. It is even rumored to believe by some in church tradition that Mary, the mother of Jesus, worshiped at this church for a while. Could you imagine having Mary in your church? Every year at the Christmas Eve service. Mary, we were wondering, would you be willing to play the role of yourself, right? No fair, Mary always gets the role. That's because she's Mary. Be quiet, all right? Look at verse 2. He's talking to Ephesus. I know your works, your toil and your patient endurance, and how you cannot bear with those who are evil, but have tested those who call themselves apostles and are not, and found them to be false. I know you are enduring patiently and bearing up for my name's sake, and you have not grown weary. Man, what a great description. I would have been proud to be a part of this church, wouldn't you? I mean, it says in Acts 19 that this church was so effective that the gospel rang out from this church throughout all of Asia Minor due to the faithfulness of these people. This was a church with a great legacy, a great track record and reputation, not unlike many of the churches that are represented in this room. And that is why the first word out of verse 4 would have absolutely ruined their day. But I have this against you, that you have abandoned the love you had at first. Remember, therefore, from where you have fallen, repent and do the works you did at first. If not, I will come to you and remove your lampstand from its place unless you repent. Jesus does not guarantee the light in our lampstands. It's up to him. This was a great church that had done nothing overtly wrong. They were just coasting on momentum. They had gradually begun to become inattentive to the voice of Jesus Christ within the work that they were doing. And it just might be that there's somebody in this room that needs to receive that admonishment here in the middle of the summer. That as you are working diligently, as you're serving within your church, make sure that you're not coasting on momentum. Make sure that you stay attentive to the voice of Jesus. This is just a reminder. You all know this to be true, but just receive it if you need to, that activity for God is no substitute for the active work of God in you. That's what he's saying to the church in Ephesus.